all I know is that there is the potential of great destruction all over the earth. Can I say that that's war? No, I will not say that. Can I say that it is a meteor coming? I cannot say that. What I am saying is that humanity has a role to play in how this turns out in 2010. So let's say that 2010 rolls around and nothing happens. You know what? I am not going to sit here and say, oh, I was wrong. I am going to be clapping in glee that we have averted what it is that I have seen for all this time. So it is never too late. The 11th hour is going to be the 11th hour until the moment that it happens. So we always have time. We always have the ability to change something. And I believe that from all of this knowledge that I've learned and all of these things that have been shown to me, I know that we have the ability to work together to make changes on the earth that are going to be lasting, that will bring back the happiness and joy that we came here to be able to experience, that will put a structure in place for our families and our communities that is geared towards caring for one another and for the earth itself. And this particular time that we're in right now is critical, that we begin to understand that we need to take responsibility on an individual basis, that we as individuals do have the power to change the earth in a way that is going to be beneficial to our children, in a way that is going to be beneficial to the people that are coming after us. And people ask me, why is it and what is it that makes this time special? And it is because we are being given the choice of how our path is going to lead us and take us and where the end is going to be. If we decide that we are going to continue to be greed-filled, look into the future. It doesn't take much. You can see that there's no real way out of this situation that we're in unless we make some changes. So how do we do that? How do we make changes? And I tell people, very important. People that come here to Project Camelot, it's a prime example. It's called education. The most important thing that an individual can do is educate themselves. And I am not talking just about political issues or issues that have to do with extraterrestrials, but I'm talking about educate yourself as to who you are as a person. Educate yourself to how to live, how to build a home, how to grow food. Put your hands in the earth again so that you remember who you are, so that you remember where your food came from. That's education. It's talking about educating yourself in all the areas that you need. Spiritually, emotionally, physically. Look at how you're living, the choices that you're making. No one, including myself, are perfect. No one's perfect. But what we can do is when we are able to, we can make the right choices so that slowly we can make a world that is on the right path.
Okay, so you've come here, though, to Hopi Land and Sedona and the Four Corners, and the mission is to gather the people, yes, if I understand it. Mm-hmm. And this is not just the Native American people. And can you talk about that a little?
I am going to share with you a little bit of what was told to me 20 years ago. When I was on board the craft, what I was told was to find the others like myself, to gather them together and bring them back to the safe lands. That a time would come when all of these people, meaning the people that I saw living from the, taken from the third world into the fourth world, and as well as the others, quote, like myself, that we would all come back together. And when this happened, there would be great changes that would take place on the earth for the better. So it is becoming clearer and clearer to me by the day now. See, it used to take years for things to come. And that's no longer the case. And that's a very key point. Because people have noticed that the world and the daily lives that they have, everything's changing. The way that we think, the way that we act. Some people are just seem to be floating through life while other people are just sort of going crazy. And they can't seem to hold their own selves and their own space. What's happening now is that this gathering that I was told about 20 years ago is beginning to form. And the people like myself there are people all over the earth that have had experiences similar to mine. And we are all waiting for the right time to stand up in unity, and come forward and speak to the world. Because when the world realizes that we are here, and that we are strong, and that we have been working in our own individual ways to better the earth and to better our societies, I believe that they will not have a choice but to look around and say, okay, what do we need to do? Because we aren't crazy people. People like myself are living very normal lives. And as I state in the book, we could be your best friend or your neighbor. We could be the principal at the school. We could be your governor or anything in life. You could even be married to somebody like me, and you may not know. But when the time comes, all of us will stand up together and come out of these closets that we've been living in to make our presence known on a global scale. So when people talk about this time where they're constantly asking me, oh, are these beings going to show themselves to us? Are they going to come out on a global scale? I tell them that it is my understanding that these tall blonde beings are here as the caretakers of this earth, and that they will not show themselves on a global scale, en masse, unless it is absolutely necessary to do so. Meaning, if there was some great cataclysm that was coming where the entire world would be wiped out, that they would then step in. But it is only then that they would do so. Now, we, people like myself, are the ones that could come out on a global basis and a global scale. And this is one of the questions I've been asked so many times, and this is a really important point for people to understand. That when they say they're going to come out, well, yeah, we're going to come out. We're going to come out of your homes and out of your schools and out of your political arenas and out of your preschools as your teachers. That's where we're going to come out first.
And doesn't it also, there's a really key ingredient which involves the children, and that the gatherings are actually going to send sort of a wave across the planet that's going to impact and stimulate all of the indigo children and all of the crystal children, whatever you want to call them, and they will suddenly know that the time is now because of this gathering, if I understand it.
You do understand it very well, and it is important to note that also. When these gatherings take place, and they have been, one can say that these gatherings have been taking place all over the earth already, in small forms. What the great gathering is certain individuals, certain groups coming together of prominence and of a prominence meaning nothing more than having certain knowledge. So people all over the earth with certain knowledge will come together, and when they stand together, they will say certain things. And what it's going to do is it's going to send a message out to individuals, children, to young adults, to those people that are 70 years old. But it will send a message to everyone that's waiting. We all feel it. Everyone's felt it for a very long time. What are we waiting for? And it's like sitting in a chair getting all, jittery. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for something. One of the things that they're waiting for is for this event to take place. That's what I believe, because that's what I was told 20 years ago, that it would be a wave that would sort